Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Pipeline Podcast. I hope you're having a spectacular night, because I sure am. My name is Jared, known as One Up Muffin in the chat. With me today is...
James, who's here to kill chaos.
And special guests, Tender. Introduce yourself.
Hey yo, it's Tender here, and we're ready to talk about Uniracers.
Uniracers, not on NSO, but some other things might be later in the show. And another special guest, OG podcast member, Raccoon.
Hello, everyone. We're really zany now, huh? I didn't have any quips prepared, but...
I'm trying to get the energy up at the beginning, because like the energy of the host is kind of like the energy that other people like have to like match and live up to.
Yes, that's true. I energy match, so...
Also, I've been introducing myself a different way every single podcast. I think Muffin's trying to take my bit.
Am I? Oh,
I'm kidding.
I'm so sorry.
Jesus.
Damn. Well.
Podcast over. A set, you bet.
Yeah. Whew. Let's start out with very quickly. What are y'all playing? What are y'all? Let's do a little fun game catch up. Let's start with the guests. Let's start with Raccoon going backwards.
I'm still wrapping my mouth around Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I'm almost done. I have the World 6 boss as my next stop. And I've been playing the game, getting all the Waddle Dees as I go, as the server knows very well.
Nice. I was doing that for the first world, and then I was like, I want to see the game.
Yeah. So that's why I'm still chipping away at it, but I'm almost done now, as far as I know.
Hell yeah. What about you, Tender?
Yeah, I mean, I have to somewhat agree here with Raccoon in the sense that I am also wrapping my mouth around Kirby. Actually, I'm not as far as you. I am. I think I'm in World 4. Is that the Ice World?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm doing the get everything as I go along as well. Just not as much time to play it lately. I'm also still playing Elden Ring, as I'm trying to finish that, and I also am like 3 hours into Triangle Strategy.
Wow. That's a nice mix.
Yeah, so I'm trying to like balance 3 games when I have time to play 0.
Yeah.
But,
and are you playing Kirby mostly co-op or mostly single player?
Oh yeah, mostly co-op. So yeah, I've been playing with my 6-year-old daughter.
Aww.
And she's really loving it.
That's great.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to switch it up soon. She's just been like the Waddle Dee with the spear. I think she wants to be Kirby, so we're gonna have to mix it up soon. But yeah, she's been loving it. It's the perfect difficulty level for a 6-year-old to get introduced to the game. So
For now, it does pick up pretty hard eventually.
Yeah, you'll be having to do boss rush mode by the end. It'll be all good.
That's adorable, though. I'm glad she's enjoying it. So I've been playing Kirby. I finished the main game and the post game. I'm working toward 100%. But we'll talk about that later.
I literally forgot we didn't do a Kirby episode yet.
On a different episode, so I'm not going to get too deep into how I feel about that game, than it's very good, and you should probably play it.
It's a masterpiece.
Otherwise, I've been also chipping away at Elden Ring occasionally. Still playing Final Fantasy XIV because I have very, very poor life choices. Make very poor life choices. And I've also been playing Final Fantasy Origins, Stranger of Paradise, which I will be very short about, but surprised me. It's kind of like... it's let me down in one way, but like... surprised me in a positive way on the other end, because I expected it to be kind of a mediocre action game with like a batshit storyline based on the trailers. But in reality, it's like actually a really good action game, and there's not enough of that bullshit that you saw in the trailers. Where like Jack is like telling people to shut the fuck up and walking away with his iPod in his hand listening to like nu metal. Like, I wish there was actually more of that. But I actually recommend. I would actually genuinely recommend people check that out if they like action RPGs. It's
The demo
very
seems
fun.
solid.
It's very, very fun.
I've been juggling 3 games. I need to focus on Kirby the most because for the podcast, I'm only on like World 3, maybe 3 or 4, probably 3. Yeah, correct. What? Did I say that weird? Oh. All right. And then Tunic, which I talked about last week a little bit, or a few weeks ago. I don't know when this podcast is going out, but still getting through that. I think I'm approaching the end. Great game. And then Elden Ring, I've kind of put on hold. And I have also downloaded Final Fantasy 14, though I don't know how far I'll get into it. Haven't been able to do much recently. But it's cool.
No,
Anyways, that's not the real reason we're here. The real reason we're here is a very serious matter. I'm sure you've seen the video. Yeah, the banter time is over. We cut it off. The real reason here is Onuma. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Onuma, yeah, I think that's right.
He got a haircut. That's why we're here.
It's close enough. I know who you're talking about. So it's
Yeah,
close enough.
he got a haircut. I think it looks pretty good. I don't know what you guys think. Are you into the haircut?
I don't come here for banter.
Would you say he has drip? Is that a thing we're allowed to say? Okay. Is that like clothing or? Okay. I just learned the phrase drip today, so I don't know how it's used.
Yes.
A few days ago, but yeah.
Yeah, I learned a few days ago as well. I think with the with a thread somewhere. The raccoon thread.
I would say that Aonuma looks very fresh.
Yeah. So no.
He looks prim, proper.
Jokes aside, they've delayed Breath of the Wild 2 to spring 2023.
No, he doesn't have drip. Haircut isn't drip.
Which is.
But he looks fly.
A year from now.
He looks fresh.
At least.
Yes, he looks.
Also, the least shocking thing that could possibly
did you really?
happen, in my opinion.
I had called
was
this early,
shocked.
and people doubted me, but not gonna gloat too hard. But
If I had to, just to get this out of the way immediately, I would not be surprised if that date ends up being fall 2023.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna say 2024.
I will not accept this. Yeah, there's no chance in my opinion.
I
think
was
it
pretty
is
shocked.
Solidly now, spring 2023.
Yeah, I think
I shit my
this is the
pants.
first time they've given it a date range. Like before, they just said like targeting 2022. They never said it. They said targeting, and they missed the target. This they're saying.
Whoa. Yes.
Yeah, and also other people didn't feel this way, but
If
the
we look
first
to
time we saw Breath
precedent,
of the Wild 1,
Breath of
it
the
looked
Wild
pretty
1
early.
was
It looked like
delayed
this looked like
from
early
holiday
footage. It was like
2015
Link
indefinitely
and some trees on
at
the
the
horse.
time. And it was
Yeah, it
around
looked
this
like
time
bullshit.
too.
Yeah, and I
was
thought
no
Breath of the
date
Wild
given.
2. I thought the first footage they showed
And then
also
for
looked pretty early,
2016,
and other people were like, "No,
they
that looks really like
specified
polished." I'm like, I
date.
don't know, man. But
Yeah,
anyways.
Or not a
yeah. I
date,
mean,
but, you
it
know,
looks
window.
it looks pretty good.
And-
Yeah, I guess it has the same maps.
But they did say like a few more things. They were like they showed like 5 seconds of a new cinematic.
That looks like
Where he's,
regular
holding,
Breath
like,
of
a
the
mossy
Wild.
sword.
Breath of the Wild looks
Yeah,
like
that
that.
sword. Honestly, that's the thing I was the maddest about in this entire thing. Is
Why?
that they didn't show more new
yeah.
footage. Yeah, like
Yeah, they could have given us something.
it's like, dude, this is the fourth time you've shown this game. I accept your apology, but please, God, show me something new. Let me know what's going. Give me a title of the game.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Let us theory craft. Show us the mechanics that you don't want to fully talk about.
So my hope is that at least, in June, when there's supposed to be an E3, whatever Nintendo does this year, they at least still have like the blowout and still show all that information and give the title and everything, that would make me happy. If I have to wait till fall for that, I'm gonna be very not happy.
As far as that picture goes, I think it's extremely funny that we have spent the last 5 years with people bitching constantly about weapon degradation, just for the only new piece of information to come out of this delayed trailer to be a picture of the Master Sword all messed up.
That's great.
Literally, the only new thing we found out yesterday was the Master Sword breaks, just like all the other weapons in the game.
That's funny.
Weapon degradation isn't just a mechanic now; it's a story canon. So here you go, guys.
Yeah. Proof positive it's going to be back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think they'll remove that. It was pretty core.
Right.
It was part of their design philosophy of we want you to be constantly trying new weapons.
I feel like you have a pretty good chance of getting your blowout at E3. Because it'll be the last E3 before the game comes out if it does hit this window. If it's not at E3, then I'm going to go ahead and assume I'm right and that it'll be fall of next year.
And
granted,
also, we say E3, but E3 has been officially canceled. So this is
I was about to say that. Yeah, I was about to say, granted, E3's been canceled, but I'm sure Nintendo will do something.
Yeah.
I just can't go through another cycle where we talk about this game in an official capacity and they still call it the sequel to the Breath of the Wild. Like it at least needs a name.
The only reason I want it to have a name is so I can stop having to read everybody's terrible, like, made up rumor names.
The Wrath of the Sky.
Sometimes I'll be looking up Nintendo games and I'll accidentally stumble upon like that like Nintendo fandom site where it's all just like fake games. I don't dislike it, but like sometimes my autocomplete is like Pokemon Apocalypse. I'm like, that's not a real game. Please like don't autocomplete with that.
Oh man,
just a little bit of like
fan
look
names
behind the scenes.
Horrible.
I've recommended we do an episode about that wiki.
That's fine.
We can, yeah, that'd be fun.
And we absolutely should.
Oh, we should, yeah.
I was so confused when I went there the first time because I was like trying to remember all the different Pikmin when I was playing Pikmin.
Oh my gosh, I love
they
that
add to this, and I started going, and it took me immediately to that wiki site, and it's like talking about all these Pikmin games. I'm like, what is that? That's not a real game, is it? I'm just going down the rabbit hole, and I was so confused.
Gives people the Mandela effect or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's very official.
Very definitive.
With citations, like fake citations. It's very funny. I like the level of commitment to the bit is what I respect.
Very true.
Just a whole series on just like different wiki sites. But anyways, so that's been delayed.
They really commit on that
So,
site too. They speak
With that
in
being delayed,
very
how are we
factual
feeling
tone.
about the rest of the year of Nintendo that are in this, specifically or especially the holiday 2022 lineup?
They've got Pokemon. They'll be fine. Scene.
Yes.
No, not seriously. But that's my basic opinion, though.
Like what's
Sorry.
been revealed so far? I think they have a pretty full year. Like I'm happy with the year ahead, even there's not like any like massive exciting game for me besides like Switch Sports, which I know it's gonna be fine.
We could start
It's gonna
there.
be
I
fine,
feel that we could
but I'll
start
like
by
it
talking
anyway.
about
No,
what they need or should do.
No, of course not.
not
and
really.
then move into what we expect.
Even if it exists, I don't find it interesting. Yeah, that's a different question. So I don't know. This could be like a Star Fox Grand Prix situation. Yeah, it could be leak bait.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. It could be a Star Fox Grand Prix situation, or it could be a 3D
Do you
All-Stars
believe in
situation,
Metroid
right?
Prime
It's like,
Remastered?
It could be the worst kept secret
You
in
don't
the
believe in
industry,
Metroid Prime?
or it could be
None
something
of
that's
you
just total
believe in Metroid Prime?
BS that somebody
Interesting.
made up and everybody just jumped onto. So
Okay,
like,
see,
either
that's a
way,
different question now.
I've been pretty sour on remakes and remasters and stuff lately, rather over
think
new
it's leak
games.
bait.
But at this point, I guess I would take it. I think in general though, they still need a Zelda game this year. So I'm pretty much banking on either Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, or both making the jump to Switch this year. I think.
Yeah, I would like that. Even though I haven't even finished Skyward Sword, which I need to get back to as well. I just keep being distracted. Just games upon games just keep coming out. They keep ripping me away from Zelda.
I just don't necessarily think they need anything else, really. I mean, I feel like this year is pretty stacked already. Because you got like Splatoon 3. We just had Arceus.
Yeah.
Triangle Strategy just came out. Kirby just came out. Switch Sports is next month. Mario Strikers is forthcoming.
Yeah. That should be awesome.
Xenoblade 3 is out in September.
Yeah.
Pokemon, like I said, Violet and Scarlet?
Yeah, that's right.
Scarlet and Violet are out in presumably November, I guess.
Yes, that's the holiday.
So-
Like, you don't need a second holiday game.
So it's like, what do you really need to slot in there? I think
I would
that-
like.
I
oh,
do
go on.
think that they're trying to make Zelda a yearly series. That does seem to be something that they've done since the Switch has been out,
Oh.
at least. I
Yeah,
think.
before then, I think even back to maybe like 2011 or something.
Yes.
Are you
Scarlet and
serious?
Violet.
Has a Zelda game really come out every year since 2011? And was
That's right.
Yep.
I think
That sounds right.
2015 was Majora's Mask.
I thought
think
Ocarina
2016
of Time was
Twilight Princess.
2013.
No, that was like 2011.
Oh,
that
wow.
was 3DS
Yes.
launch year.
Yes.
Oh.
Skyward Sword. Not
So
2012.
no, that was 2012.
But it's
then, right?
2013. 2013 was
Yeah,
Link
so
Between Worlds.
direct
Okay, so
Right.
Skyward Sword,
Warriors,
Ocarina of Time, Link Between Worlds,
Triforce Heroes.
Triforce, Hyrule Warriors
2016 was what? Majora's Mask?
was
Oh,
Majora's.
2012 was
and
probably
Majora's
Ocarina
Mask
of Time on
3D.
3DS.
That's Twilight Princess HD.
Twilight Princess HD. Yeah.
No,
And
no.
then, then
Breath of the
Wild. What was 2018's?
Hyrule
Hyrule
Warriors,
Warriors.
DE. Yeah, DE.
And then
Which is a
2019
great
was
pack.
Link's Awakening.
Yes. Yep.
Hyrule Warriors,
What was
right?
2020's?
2015
Sword?
was
Yeah.
Triforce
No,
Heroes.
No, that was 2021.
Oh,
we
the
missed
Hyrule
2016.
Warriors too.
Yeah, Age of
Yeah,
Calamity.
that's right. That's right.
Ah, yeah,
So, I
okay.
guess there's been a Zelda game every
Wow,
year since then.
that's amazing.
And,
You- like,
yeah,
we don't
that's
think of it
whack
that
to
way.
think about.
Hyrule
Yeah,
Warriors
but,
again. Hyrule Warriors.
I mean, I guess Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition is kind of cheating, but I'll allow it.
Well, I mean, it counts as much as Twilight Princess HD.
I disagree.
No,
Hyrule Warrior
no.
Definitive Edition is a port of a game that came out like 2 years prior. At least
No,
Twilight Princess
it was a
an
port
HD
that it did add
remaster.
some stuff. I
Yes.
Oh no,
It
it just
had a
added
lot
all
of
the
stuff.
DLC,
think. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and it made it
year.
like,
Yeah.
and the stuff that was in the 3DS version. Sure.
So I would say it's a new thing because like the 3DS version was kind of had like less characters and stuff or less on screen people.
2019.
I mean, it's another port. Exactly, it's another
yeah,
port.
sure.
Yeah. So
And
crossbow
that's-
training 2 this year.
And that's not even to mention they had Cadence of Hyrule somewhere in that,
Yeah.
like that shuffle.
2019. Yeah, it's 2019.
So,
And the
yeah,
3DS
I think the
stuff,
2022
right?
not having a Zelda game would be weird. I tend to agree with Tender that it's
Well-
probably going to be a remaster.
Yeah.
I think it would probably.
I think that the
either be
distinction is
Twilight
completely
Princess
meaningless
and
to
Wind Waker,
Nintendo. You know, they want
or
something that's
Ocarina
out
and
on
Majora,
shelves. That's a
maybe?
Zelda.
Unless Grezzo's next
matter
game is
what it
further than
is.
we thought, and maybe Grezzo has
Oracle?
another. Yeah, maybe they did Oracle. I don't know.
But the weird thing there is that Ocarina and Majora also just both came out on NSO, so.
But
I
that
would
didn't stop
probably-
them before.
Stop them before from what?
Like they released Mario 3D All Stars, and then they released Mario 64 on NSO. Yeah, you're right.
Mario is also kind of a weird thing, but I mean, trying to speculate based on Nintendo patterns is kind
Yeah.
of like, yeah,
Right.
it's like trying to drown yourself in a puddle. You know, it's impossible. They don't really follow any set thing.
The only pattern is there's no pattern.
Exactly.
I think the year is pretty set on. It's got all the
But that's
sports
the other
you
way.
need. It's got all the
They
RPGs
sold a
you
product and then
need.
a subscription. They can't sell subscriptions on a
Kirby
product.
is almost a platformer, but I would love like some sort of like 2D platformer. I feel like we've been missing that for a long time.
I will say this: it does feel like just from my gut, right, that they will introduce another game for the holiday. I think I don't know what it'll be. I don't know what the impact of it'll be, but it seems like traditionally Nintendo doesn't think of Pokemon as
Yeah.
a holiday game. So if you look at like Let's Go, you look at Sword and Shield, like there were other games there that they still threw out into the mix. So whether it's one of these really weird rumors out there like Donkey Kong or Odyssey 2, I don't think it's going to be
Yes.
something that big, but maybe it'd be something even bigger, which is Rhythm Heaven.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting thought. Sorry, go ahead, Raccoon. I'll let you go first.
I think what
Oh, Fire Emblem 3
that's-
somethings.
That's June though. Three Hopes June.
what we have to consider to provide a little bit of optimism to it is that the first half, or really so far the first quarter, is so packed. We haven't mentioned, because of our tastes, the Fire Emblem thing, Fire Emblem Warriors thing. Yeah, we have two Nintendo games in June. I mean, and like that carried a holiday in 2020. Obviously, that was a little bit different, but Switch Sports is coming in really, really hot. They're patching in leg strap functionality in
Kirby
summer
could have been a
and
holiday
golf in
game.
fall. So, and partially, Switch
Yeah.
Sports, excuse me. That's like for marketing reasons, something like that does better across spring and summer. But we're sort of seeing some indications that this year is going to be huge. Because compared to other first halves, this first half is huge. You could easily hold things for later. Kirby could have been a holiday game. Kirby could have been a lot of things. But we're looking at Arceus.
Well, we've already
and some of this is
forgotten
like
a couple
COVID.
things that have been
There's
like
a
announced
lot
for
of
tentative 22
actuallys
releases
to
or
be said,
2022
but
release rather.
there's a
without
general
certain
sense of
dates.
everything being
You have
pushed
things
into
like
the front.
Mario and Rabbids
And I
Kingdom
feel
Battle
like
2.
Oh.
there are
You have Bayonetta
maybe
3.
only a handful
yeah.
of
Like
things,
those things
but
are both like
one or two things that
not
aren't announced.
not totally,
that
but like a
will
couple
fill
times
out
now
the holiday
Nintendo's
to
used
the
the December
extent
window
that
for
justifies
like
the first half.
a game that has an audience, but maybe not the biggest audience. Like for 2017, it was Xenoblade. 2018, it was Smash Brothers, which is kind of the anomaly there. I'm still kind of weirded out about them releasing that you could, right? You could realistically probably release that game in any month, any day, and it just doesn't matter. 2021 last year they had
Big
Yeah.
Brain
Big
Academy.
Brain Academy. See, I can see Bayonetta 3 pretty comfortably slotting into that like December,
Yeah.
that early December slot.
Anybody will come. Well, it's
I could
because
see Mario and
that
Rabbids
game
slotting into like an
was
August or a
crunched so
October,
hard,
Yeah.
one of those 2 months that don't have a game yet.
I think like
Exactly.
Pokemon, I don't think they would see Mario and Rabbids as fully their own, even though they would obviously advertise it a lot.
Sure.
I think they'd see Bayonetta though.
Yeah.
Even though it's not, even though it's platinum, I think they would see Bayonetta. So I could see
Yeah,
it being Bayonetta.
I'm not discounting anything for the rest of the year, but I actually kind of think that people that think there's going to be like more huge announcements for 2022 might be on a slight bit of copium. And that's not based on anything other than just knowledge of what we already know is coming out and how many months there are in a year to sell video games to people.
I do think we have like one or two, maybe like medium-sized things left.
Right. I'm just not expecting like Monkey PD.
I don't think
happen,
Odyssey 2 is this year.
or Odyssey 2.
2D Mario would be a great surprise. I have no indication of it, but I would love it.
I think the 2D Mario would be a amazing thing to release in November alongside Pokemon.
I think you release it with whenever the movie releases. You time that Mario release with it because those Marios sell so much.
That's such a good point too. Like I don't know that they have anything announced.
I'm expecting 2D Mario.
Launch alongside the movie, and
Oh.
you would
EPD
think
10.
for sure they would
2D
want
Mario.
something there.
Yeah.
Wait, is the Mario movie this year?
Yeah, December.
Yeah. So that's why I think we get some kind of Mario game this year.
Oh, okay. For some reason I was thinking that the Mario movie was next year.
No, we're
Just because we haven't
we're
seen
gonna get a
anything
trailer
from
at
it
some
yet.
point. Yeah.
Yeah,
fact that
Mario
we haven't
Day.
seen it-
March 10th. March 10th we'll probably get it.
Yeah. The fact we haven't seen a trailer for Mario yet is insane. If that's coming out in December,
Yes.
oh, okay.
This
I
holiday.
was just thinking more along the lines of like regular movies. I feel like I would have seen a teaser by now, but sure. '21st, it looks like by Wikipedia.
I'm
Yeah.
just imagining the CGI for Mario being like imagining like a Sonic situation where like Mario looks so weird that they're like
that's standard.
they have to like
fare for
re-edit the
these
movie to make it
animation
look
stuff.
more normal.
We'll get it around.
Dude,
And they
if-
delay it
if-
till
if-
next year.
For
What?
also like
No, I
holiday
know, but that would just be
is-
funny.
If
for a
if
film like that. It's,
Mario
like, right
walked
before
out
Christmas. In fact, that
and
date
he
might
looked
be
like
out
long
December 18th.
Mario from Mario Maker 1,
21st.
and everybody's
Yeah,
just like, "What is this?" That'd be the most beautiful. Oh God, I wish that could happen to me. I wish I could live in the timeline where that.
Illumination
would
I am
is
very excited
a
for the
great
Mario
fit
movie, not
visually.
because like I'm excited for the
if
movie,
this
but I'm
looks like an
excited to do a
Illumination movie, it's
podcast
gonna
of
be
the
fine.
movie and to do a podcast of the first Mario
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Oh, that would be so good. Oh
Oh
no.
man.
Do have
you
to
know,
be streaming
but you know,
though.
you feel like that, that alongside the Mario movie, you could either have like, oh, it's the new 2D Mario series that they've been holding on to that's post new Super Mario Brothers, or it could just be it's a DLC pack for Mario Super Mario Party Superstars, and
We should
it's
do a
one,
riff tracks of it.
one course.
Yeah, like here's a
Yeah.
board based on the movie.
Right, it
Or
could be-
it's Super Mario Bros. The movie, the game.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know. Like we just got DLC for a game made in like 2012 or something.
It's 2014, but
2014. So I think anything is possible.
Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart. I think literally anything is possible with Nintendo and DLC.
I don't think we'll ever get
That team is
Mario Party
very good at
DLC.
pumping out games.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I could imagine them even doing like a
Because
Switch
of the
party. It's
model.
who is that? ND Cube?
yeah, Andy Cube,
Yeah,
Naughty Dog Cubed.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
release
get
games really
they
quickly.
get a total pass for everything.
What game?
If they did Clubhouse.
yeah. I think
Oh,
the Raccoon
yeah, of course,
actually has a
of
pretty
course.
good point. They're probably more likely just to release
Yeah,
another Mario
no, that's fair.
Party.
But
Yeah.
I
When you
think they'd
consider
rather
that
pump
Super
out more
Mario Party
Mario
is still
Parties.
selling, even though Superstar is out.
Oh, they are a machine.
So that's actually kind of an interesting thought, though. Like,
Yeah,
do you
that's-
think that any
they
other
did,
games could see
Clubhouse as
DLC that we wouldn't expect to like fill in something this year? I don't know. I just keep going back to the year already feels pretty packed, and like
Yeah.
God,
And what
imagine
kind-
if we just got Odyssey DLC like years later.
that's-
I would
that's
be so
exa-
happy.
That's
Exactly.
exactly what I was thinking, Muffin. It's just
Dude.
like all of a sudden, just like Mario Kart stuff, they just drop Odyssey DLC out of nowhere.
I would cry. I would be so happy. Yeah, that was the funny. That was a great rumor. Like I wanted that to be true.
if they showed Mario Odyssey DLC, the sheer amount of just like thermonuclear
Yeah, I don't think there's
meltdown
a need to
on
fill
every
now that there's
forum
Mario
that
Kart.
hosts Nintendo discussion.
There are no holes
about
ever.
what this means for the release of a new 3D Mario anytime soon would be some of the juiciest discourse that has ever
Delfino
been
Island.
posted.
I
Oh,
Yeah, I hope the next Mario doesn't take as long as Breath of the Wild 2 did.
I
I
mean,
guess
it
it
already
already
has.
is. It already has. Oh no.
Yeah, they're synced up, man. They're like
We
months
need
apart.
3D Mario next year then. That would be the second greatest year in the last decade.
Unless we count Bowser's Fury, which would be fair.
I would
I
have a
don't-
pseudo
I don't wanna count
intellectual meltdown
I
over
don't want
that
to count
It's a
it.
good game.
because
but
it
I don't-
I'd
like
rather
it
have a
indicates
2D Mario.
something bad.
We're
you know,
we're 10
about
years now
EPD.
without a new 2D Mario.
we are very due for that. Yeah.
Oh man.
Unless you
Yeah.
count Mario Maker, which like you can if you
Yeah.
want.
But again, like Bowser's Fury, I don't count it.
I think
Not
we
a
count
great
Mario.
game, but
Mario Maker is maybe a little more legitimate to count than Bowser's Fury, but
Yeah,
Well,
imagine
it's
if it's like
fantastic,
10 years
but-
later and they just do literally New Super Mario.
it's not
Bros.
EPD.
Switch.
It doesn't count. It's not
No.
EPD.
God.
I would be very upset if it's New Super Mario Bros.
It would be so sad, and then it would sell like
Oh,
30
man, we
million
are.
copies anyway.
But I mean,
I-
on that same note, on that same token, we're what 8 years from the last Donkey Kong game.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, Monkey PD is like, I know it's probably fake, but it is such an appealing rumor that I
Yeah,
want it
it
to be
really
real because
is.
I just love it. What? Why is it terrible? I love it. I'm a consumer. I don't care about resources. I just want my monkey.
I actually
Yeah.
don't care about resources. I would rather EPD make Donkey Kong than just about anything else because I would
Ugh.
like to see because the last time they
Yeah.
had a take on it, it was a beautiful disaster.
It's a
Like
terrible
a train
rumor.
wreck of an idea that
It's
worked so
terrible
well
rumor,
that it
man.
shouldn't have worked as well as it did. And it was
We don't
called
have the
Donkey Kong Jungle
resources
Beat.
at
You were
EPD.
thinking of Jungle
And-
Beat, and I always think that their last Donkey Kong is 94.
But
I was gonna say I don't know what disaster means in this context because it was just,
Okay, when I say disaster, it's a disaster of an idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where like you sit down and you're like, okay, what is the ideal Donkey Kong game? You and I would not get to platformer controlled by slapping plastic bongo drums in a million years, but somehow they got to it in like probably 6 months, and then they made it work, and they made it work elegantly, and like they made one of the most fun video games of all time by slapping bongo drums to make a monkey run in a direction. And that's beautiful to me. And if there's a team there at EPD that feels passionate about Donkey Kong, especially if they feel passionate about Donkey Kong Country in specific, and they want to like flex on Donkey Kong Country, the people that made Mario Galaxy, the people that made 3D World, the people that made Odyssey, are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely give them the ape.
So
Yeah.
if they made a new like Donkey Kong, I imagine it would be like 3D World. Like even though my ideal one is like more like Odyssey, I think if they did it, it would be a 3D World type game.
I would take a straight 2D side scroller,
Yeah,
and I
that'd be
know that
good too.
I know a lot of people probably don't want that, but like, I want to see what EPD's vision of that monkey is, worse than just about anything else.
is mainline Donkey Kong actually a greater bar of consistency than mainline 2D Mario?
There's all. I mean, what are you counting? Yeah, what are you counting as mainline Donkey Kong?
I'm thinking basically like the arcade game 94, the Country series 64, the new Country series, and Jungle Beat.
All the arcade games.
In
Like
that situation,
Junior and
you'd
1
have
and
to
2
line
D?
up 64 with Sunshine. I guess those are like the most like equivalents.
Like
Yeah,
what
'cause they
comprises
suck.
mainline
Like,
Yeah,
Donkey
of like
Kong?
the most least regarded like titles in their series.
like 64 seems to me to be the biggest mar on the Donkey Kong license as far as like just games. But I don't know.
I think Mario is more consistent because I don't think people even love 3 that much, like Country 3.
I'm the only person that hates Donkey Kong Country 3.
No, I think that's a pretty common opinion that it's like definitely like not as highly regarded as the other ones.
I thought it was a common opinion until I joined this Discord
Oh.
and had all these people. I guess that's fair. I guess.
Yeah.
He's right. Oh man, he's
I
so
like
right.
I like all the country games, but I think Mario is definitely more consistent overall. Even though like Donkey Kong 94 is maybe like almost on par with like Mario 3. Like,
See,
those
see,
games
I
are so
think
good.
that. See, I think Donkey Kong Country 2 and Tropical Freeze are better than most 2D
This
Mario
Discord doesn't
games.
have common
I think,
opinions.
I
Are you
think the
kidding
only
me?
two 2D Mario games
People
that
say the
stand
most
on the same
asinine
shoulder,
things
or
on the
stand on the same
Discord.
heights as DKC2 and Tropical Freeze are 3 and World.
Yeah.
Personally,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And I just thought of another Donkey Kong game that is kind of terrible, which is Donkey Kong Jr. So,
what about
Yeah.
Donkey Kong 2 and 3 on the arcade? And were those in the arcade? Surely.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Donkey Kong 3. I didn't really play 2 very much. But
I'm
yeah,
trying-
DK Junior Math.
I'm trying to
versus,
imagine-
versus Mario teaches typing.
I'm trying to
So-
remember what Donkey Kong 2 even was.
I don't
I
fully
played
remember.
3 and 1 in Junior. I can't remember what 2 was.
Yeah. What is 2?
So where does March of the Minis fall into this? Is that a Mario game or a Donkey Kong game?
I think that's an offshoot at that point. Like DK94 is mainline, and then
Yeah, of course.
those are offshoots. And
It's funny when you Google Donkey Kong 2. the
DK
first
Junior
is,
Math.
Country.
Let's go.
We still need to do the stream where you play DK94, James.
Yeah, I've
That'd be
never
fun.
played 94.
Yeah,
So
that'd
Oh,
be
it's-
a great stream.
I was playing it for the first time, James. It's awesome. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
It is so good.
yeah, I'm excited.
We'll get you to play the Super Game Boy one because that one has good colors and sound.
It's very similar to Metal Gear Solid 2.
The MGS2 of Donkey Kong games.
Well, that I mean, I've never played MGS2, but I have an idea of what that means regardless, and that sounds very interesting. I can't lie.
What was this podcast about?
Oh well, we were talking we were talking about 2022, and Monkey PD is one of the
Yeah.
more like popular rumors for a game that might exist.
I would much rather have that than a remake of Metroid Prime, a game that still looks fantastic
Yeah,
and plays really well
exactly.
too.
The
No. No.
2022.
Yeah.
I feel like
3D Mario is always going to have a team on it.
Ugh, sure is
I
popular.
feel like it could be one or the other. I don't know.
Do you guys feel that Monkey PD precludes 3D Mario?
what if they were taking the
don't think so.
opportunity to like
That's common
reunite
sentiment
Mario
that
and
it
Donkey
is
Kong?
a separate
That'd
project
be cool.
at Tokyo, which I find
Mario
very
vs.
interesting.
Donkey Kong 3D.
Well, they've actually already gone in this direction with Odyssey,
Yeah,
right?
no,
By bringing
realistically.
Pauline back.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
well, that's
I
what
was
well,
so-
not just
See, that's
Pauline,
why I
but the
don't
whole damn
believe
city is
Yeah,
like,
in
it's literally called like
Monkey
what?
PD.
Kong
Donk
City?
I don't think there's the
New
resources
Donk
at
City.
Tokyo.
And
to
Donkey
support
Kong is
both.
not there.
And 3D
well, it's
Mario
not just
is
called
always
New
going to
Donk
be
City.
priority.
Everything in the city, like the street names, are like named after animal buddies and
Ooh,
stuff like that. Like
Monkey
there's like
PD is
Espresso
3D
Way,
Mario.
or
See,
Expresso Way rather, and like Ramby Street and stuff like that. I don't know what it would. I don't know what it would look like either, but it just occurred to me that like
New Donk City.
because I don't read a lot of threads on the forums, personally speaking, mostly because I like to keep the two brain
Rare
cells I
era,
have left,
yeah.
you know, nice and rough, so they can keep
Oh,
scratching together and working, doing what they need to do.
I
But
don't
I had
know
not,
what that would
I
look
wasn't
like
actually privy to
specifically,
the
but
idea.
I really like that
uh,
idea.
Monkey PD was like, in most people's minds, something that was being worked on instead of Mario. But now that you've said that, that makes some level of sense because we know
Yeah.
that the EPD teams are, I mean, they're sizable, but they're not like so
Well-
huge that I would expect them to be working on two. Sure, that's a really
What-
polite way to put it.
Well, who made Bowser's Fury? Was it EPD or was it NST?
That was
so
NST.
maybe so
Most people
consider
don't feel
the
that way.
idea that the next Mario game is made by NST
Oh,
and
wow.
Donkey Kong is being made by EPD.
That would
Anemic.
be wild if they let like an American company make a mainline 3D
Over
Mario game.
ambitious for the
That's-
volume.
that'd be great. I would love it.
Oh,
that they
okay.
have.
I
I'd be
like
so
I
happy.
like that idea. I actually think that would be pretty wild. It'd be even funnier if it
NST.
were Retro doing it.
It was America. America
But
made
did you
Bowser's
really,
Fury.
I don't know, man. Did you?
I was going to
Yeah.
suggest that next.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's a very funny thought.
And then Japan
Mario
makes
in
Donkey
Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Kong.
I like the idea
So
of the
dumb.
reunification of Mario and Donkey Kong. I also just like the reunification of kind of that Nintendo staple in general. Like, I miss when, like, remember that Wario was
What
a
if they
Mario
like leaned
character
into it?
first?
Mario goes
Like,
to
it's
America.
so weird that, like, all of these are so disconnected now.
Road trip.
That
Mario's
Wario
road
and Donkey
trip.
Kong never appear in Mario games.
Well,
would
it's
love-
not. It's not just that they're disconnected; it's that they have their own weird characters and continuity now.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
and
is
what-
great, but I would also love if they had some overlap.
yeah, it'd be pretty rad. What's really weird about Wario is he's got two of them. Like, you have all the Captain Syrup shit from the Land games, and then you have all of his friends from WarioWare.
Yeah, and I love
Yeah.
the WarioWare friends. Like, they're great
Yeah.
characters.
Same.
Yeah, and then
And
I'm sorry.
the connect.
Were the? I don't.
Which ones?
Yeah.
The Wario
yeah.
Land.
Oh, I don't know who made
Is that,
Wario Land.
Is that Intelligent Systems?
I think the
no,
most
it's not
the most-
Intelligent Systems. I don't
The
think.
most recent one was Good Feel, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Shake
but
It?
before that, it was
Shake
one
It
of the
was Good Feel.
Japanese. It was one of like the EPD teams, I think, or what was the
Well, it was R and
Are the platformers
R&D? Yeah,
Insys?
sorry.
Wario Land 4 was R&D 1.
Anybody know? Or the platformers
but
Insys?
Shake It
Intelligent
was
Systems.
Good Feel. Or,
Yeah, Shake
I
It
didn't.
was good.
I didn't like
Wario
Shake It.
Land. Is Wario Land?
Or the Groove Dimension, I think is what it's called if you're... or the Shake Dimension is
Yeah,
what
if
it's
you're
called
British.
if you're British, which I hope you're not.
Oh.
Oh no! What a good game.
R&D
Yeah, I think
probably.
all
Bring
the
back
Wario
Wario
Land-
Land.
I think all the Wario Land games before Shake It were internal Nintendo.
Let's.
Yeah, I imagine they'd have to be. Like, who else was making Game Boy games back then
Yeah.
for Nintendo except for HAL and Game Freak and Nintendo?
Let's make a new
Intelligent Systems.
Wario. Let's do it.
Insys, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wario Land 4
Yeah, a
was
new Wario Land
R&D
game would be
1.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I would kill for it
So-
when that rumor was that what's it called was going to be making it,
Way
and then it was-
Forward.
and then
Yeah.
and then it was
Bakugan.
Bakugan.
Yeah, Bakugan.
That's great.
But yeah, the I do like the idea of Monkey PD being like a platformer that reunites Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong's gonna be in the movie. Hold on,
That's true. That's true.
hold on, not no, not just Donkey Kong. Cranky Kong is gonna be in the movie,
Seth Rogen.
which means that
That's so
the
funny.
extended Kong family is now 100% canon to the Mario universe.
Oh, that's
Which this is the first time they've acknowledged that, right?
Yeah, it is absolute. Well, other than Odyssey's, other than New Donk City's stuff, but yes,
But
Yeah.
they didn't. Did they?
Whoa.
Did they acknowledge the extended family in New Donk City?
they did with street names.
Oh,
Like the street,
okay.
and there are things in New Donk City called like Diddy Mart and Dixie Street,
Oh,
Tiniest
They could-
Piroshka's,
They could be
Cranky
coincidences,
Avenue.
though. You know.
Yeah,
Oh.
definitely coincidences. I don't know. I want to be very clear that I don't know anything, and I'm not like being coy at all. This is just literally this idea popped into my head, and then I said it.
I want to be clear that we're all insiders and we know exactly what Nintendo's releasing. We just don't want to tell you.
Yeah, okay, sure. That's actually it. But I think it would be very cool if that were the case. And
No, I love that.
I want to be clear.
And the more I talk about it, and the more I think about it right now, it seems almost like possible. Oh, it'd be so cool.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, we're talking actually like.
And you could have teams like Team Mario and Team DK, like it's DK, Diddy, Dixie, and Cranky, and like
I'd embrace
Mario,
that.
Luigi, Toad, and Peach.
This sounds like Sonic Heroes, but with Mario.
Well, no, oh god, K. Rool
Having
and
two
Bowser
very
working
different
together.
Platforming.
Oh,
if you had
fields to
Team
switch
DK and Team Mario, who in the world is going to be on Team Mario? That's all I have to say. Like, who's going to be on that team? Nobody.
Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach.
No. Like who's going to pick that team?
Oh, who's going to pick that team? Losers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God, the music would be amazing. Mario would have
my
a good
gosh.
soundtrack for once. Muffin. Oh, I'm going to get fired from the podcast.
We are a Koji Kondo hating podcast.
No, I love Koji. I love Koji Kondo. He does great work. He does great work. He made the best song in Odyssey. So,
Hey,
Wooded Kingdom, Steam Gardens.
Odyssey has great music.
Odyssey has okay music. Odyssey has a few standout tracks and a bunch of things that I have forgotten in the past 5 years, to be honest with you.
I like that Superstar song.
Whoa, hey. Can't be saying
That's
that shit.
wild.
Oh, I like the one on the what is it, the one where you can jump off the side and go into the woods and stuff.
Which
but
one is that?
It's like the mechanical area.
That's
I like that.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
Garden.
That's Steam Gardens.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
song that Koji Kondo.
Oh, really? That's a great
composed.
song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I also like New Donk City's theme,
Yep.
and I like.
I have the whole Odyssey soundtrack.
I like the vocal song at the
memorized,
end of the
honestly.
game, Honeymoon
Like, I can go-
Escape, and I like Honeymoon Caverns, the song that plays when you're like in the fiery pit in the moon when you're on your way up to the castle. Those are the good songs from that game.
Jump Up Superstar.
I like Jump Up Superstar. Okay, Odyssey, yes, see.
It's a great song.
Odyssey, yes, see. That part ruins it for me in a lot of ways.
Oh no, that part's good.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's a dream that I just had, and I'm glad that you all share it with me now.
So, like, we gotta address the elephant in the room, though, right?
What
Which
Sonic
is-
Frontiers?
Which is the biggest game on the release list that nobody's talking about, which is Fire Emblem Warriors: The Three Hopes.
I have long voiced my opinion on that game and that type of game. And by type of game, I don't even mean Muso. I mean Muso sequel to popular game that people like.
Yeah.
I'll play it eventually.
Yes.
I have mixed feelings because Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition is that might be like a top 10 game for me of all time. And Age of Calamity is it's okay. It has a lot of really interesting ideas. It just doesn't have the crazy amount of expanded content. And I have a fear that this is going to be the same way compared to Fire Emblem Warriors 1.
Yeah.
So I have that fear, but at the same time, I'm going to probably play this for 100 hours regardless. So
I agree with Tender. I think Muso games work best when they are a mishmash of every bit of a series rather than focusing on one specific game. I found Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition from the little bit I played a lot more exciting and fun than I did Age of Calamity.
yeah, I don't know if anybody played the Dragon Quest ones. They were really good. They were really cool.
A little bit. Played some of the demo. It was cool. I like the One Piece ones.
What's
Yeah.
funny is I liked Age of Calamity better than Definitive Edition.
Oh my god.
Mostly because it felt beatable, I guess.
Oh,
I look at Hyrule Definitive Edition, I look at those adventure maps, and they locked so many of the characters that I actually wanted to play as behind those adventure maps.
Look,
and-
I think I've played Hyrule Warriors for more than 600 hours between Wii U, Switch, and 3DS because I bought all of them because I'm an idiot, and I still don't think I've beaten Definitive Edition yet. All the content, it's just so massive. I remember
Well,
one time I just took off a week from work just to relax, and I ended up just playing Hyrule Warriors the entire week, and
That's
I still
amazing.
and I still didn't even make a dent in the content.
Well, it's I want to play as Marin and Skull Kid. Those
Yeah.
are the characters I want to play as, and they're buried in hours of adventure map play, and it's just man.
Not that much.
In
to be
Age of
honest.
Calamity, I can play as Sidon, and he has a fun like almost rhythm based attack pattern to him, and I could finish the game in like 30 hours. I don't know.
That was the best part about Age of Calamity was that like the movesets were so unique, and bringing like the future characters and the past characters, and they all had different movesets. It was really, really, really neat. I just wish, I don't know. I just wish there was a bigger content map for it. Like there was like the adventure maps and maybe more DLC characters than they did and things like that. But I'm sorry, I brought it in as a joke, and we ended up talking about Musos for 5 minutes.
It's fine.
You mentioned Rhythm Heaven. Just out of curiosity, like the thing that I could see them having to fill out some of the rest of the year. No, not ports, Would maybe be something like smaller, like
Pushmo,
Box Boy and Box Girl, or Pushmo.
I would love Pushmo to make a return.
Or Rhythm Heaven,
years.
or
So
even something like Clubhouse Games. Like, do you think something like that's possible?
I absolutely do, and here's my number one guaranteed guess. And you know what? I'm gonna put it in 2 windows. I know it's kind of a cop out, but either in December of this year or May of next year, we will get a new Nintendogs.
Damn.
Oh, internal. It's gonna be internal. Yeah.
Do you think it would have? I think it would need to come with a microphone for the USB spot, or for the for the headphone jack.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see that happening.
Interesting. Who do you think would make it?
Do you think tour ends after
internal? Interesting. I mean, I could see
after all the DLC is out for 8.
Yes, 100%.
Because they ended Dragalia Lost, and we know tour doesn't do amazing for them.
At this point, with
like, it makes money, but like it doesn't make anywhere
tour
near
for
as much
so
as
long,
like Fire Emblem.
and now working on
the only mobile
tour
game they
tracks
have
to
is
extend Mario Kart
Heroes,
8.
really.
Absolutely see another.
Yeah, I could see in
mass market
2025
product
looking
coming
back
from
and
them,
seeing the only
like
Nintendo
Nintendogs.
mobile game that is still operating is Fire Emblem Heroes.
Oh,
It's wild to think
I bet
Iwata
you're
was
right.
right about
I bet
that
it does
too.
end. Yeah.
It's not worth it. Not worth it to get into mobile.
Yeah, it
They-
wasn't worth it for them. It was so silly. They shouldn't have done it.
Pocket Camp's gone next year, based off.
I
They
hope
get money
so.
from
I
Guards.
really
Ba-
hope so.
Based off these emails they're sending out, where they're like deprecating content now and they're compressing passes and stuff like that. It's on its way out. I think that's the next one to go.
What did he say?
No, we'll get like an
Yeah.
Amiibo festival
he
too
knew.
or something.
Well,
Yeah,
Well,
I
when
think
you-
that'd
well-
be fun to see a spin-off of that.
well, when you say 5 years, do you mean 5 years from the release of New Horizon? Because yes, probably. But I think, probably. I think by 2025 we'll have a new Animal Crossing.
That's a great point.
I think we'll get a good like spin-off though. at
Is
some point.
Animal Crossing
You
gonna
think
be
a new
gone
Animal Crossing
for
in
like
3
5
years?
years?
Yeah,
With no
absolutely.
presence
Did I
from
hear
Pocket
that right?
Camp.
Like a real one?
And
Yeah, I think
Mainline.
absolutely. There's going to be a new one by
some
by
sort of Animal
2025.
Crossing spin-off.
Wow. Do you think they'll like speed it up because like that first one sold so amazing?
Oh, you think they're going to speed up the next game because this one sold 40
We've had-
million
Yeah.
copies?
Yeah.
Yes, I do think that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter to Mario Kart 8. It's still, Animal Crossing's never going to catch Mario Kart 8.
No. Though honestly, I don't know. Like Animal Crossing is getting up there.
There's no way it catches
No.
Mario Kart 8. It just doesn't happen.
No, I don't mean Mario Kart 8. I mean like the future, like do future Animal Crossing.
That's true,
start to
but
catch
it
up
didn't
with the
do
future
as
Mario
well.
Karts.
I mean, it has on Switch, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
Is Animal Crossing still charting?
But what's like the downside here is like, oh, okay, we fast tracked
No
this to
way.
2025.
This
we
was a
released the new Animal
fad.
Crossing and it only
This was
sold
a
20 million
COVID
copies?
Yeah,
fad.
you're right,
Like,
you're right.
you know,
It's going.
like,
Listen, it's going to have a good boost from it. Everything on Switch
So
is
do
going
you
to have
think-
a
That's
boost.
fair. That's fair. I think
you
5
think
years though they can
continues, but
So is 2025
it's not going to reach
like
that
a new
height
console
again.
to you?
Unless they do
do one.
something
Oh yeah.
really, really
Ooh,
spectacular.
let's do it.
Which I
Let's do
don't
it.
expect from
Let's
Animal
get to
Crossing
it.
anytime soon.
Podcast transition hardware.
that I'm glad that you gave me that free transition because I was not gonna let it go.
No, I'm
was
just
like,
saying in
there's no-
general, like,
it's
it's never
20
going to be Mario Kart.
They
tier
don't put
again.
2 Animal Crossing games on the same console.
No, they don't do it.
See, now we're brushing against the elephant in the room, the real elephant in the room, which
I mean,
is
Switch 2 will be out by 2025.
hardware.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
What the
Yeah, I
fuck
believe
is
it.
happening
Yeah,
with
2025,
hardware?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was already thinking about hardware.
I have that channel
when
muted.
A new Animal
I have
Crossing.
the channel
came
also
up. It's
muted,
like,
and I
okay,
run that
Tender,
server.
where is it gonna go?
I also
You
have that
know?
channel muted.
You think so? You guys think so?
Listen,
I'm the
man,
only
it's
person
really,
who
really annoying to read. It's a bunch of
follows
nerds slinging shit at
hardware
a wall
in this
and
room,
hoping something will
or
stick.
sort
It's like
of
they're
the approximation of hardware talk that is sort of. Oh my gosh. Okay, see,
dude. If I wanted to read fan fiction, I would just go to AO3. All right.
I. See, you guys don't understand hardware talk. Because hardware talk is all these people talking about random bullshit in between the tiny scraps they get. And they're very self-aware.
Oh.
They're very self-aware about how futile their attempts are. No, but they're not even, right? Like, they'll just be talking about, like, okay, what is the future of, solid-state storage one day? And they just talk about all this non-Nintendo shit all day. And I come in, I'm like, oh, you guys think it's going to have this? And they're like, lol, no.
Maybe
They're
I'll-
just
maybe I'll check
talking
it out
about
someday.
It's literally just hardware technology talk. One person I was going to name, but maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Famously thinks that they're
So-
all having no idea what they're talking about whatsoever.
Yeah, so-
but it's very
so wait.
convincing when you go
So
in
do you
there,
think, like, Switch is gonna
because
have, like,
they're
a
at least
10-year lifespan?
well-read, even if they don't have expertise. It reminds me of General.
So,
it's bizarre.
Would you still say there's gonna be like a
General
pro type
talks
thing,
about
or do you
video
think
games.
no,
These people are talking
literally
about
no
technology.
hardware until?
It's, I don't know. It's kind of sad. I would wait. This is like the lowest point for hardware speculation because what the fuck is happening?
So I'll say what I believe.
Yes.
I think the Bloomberg
I believe in the
article
10-year Switch dynasty
with like the
100%.
DLSS and stuff. I think that was all true. They just had like the dates like completely messed up. But I could see that happening in 23, 24.
Or not even
See, it's tough to say
What? Why not?
because my answer now
Well,
would be
because
so
it was
different
supposed to be
from
last
in
year,
just a couple months.
and then we got the
really.
OLED instead. So I think 2 years between another hardware revision is. Yeah.
Why 23, 24? Why? What do you mean, why not? Why do you think it's 2023, 2024? Okay, see, that's fair. The OLED was very, very confounding. And I remember I was so frustrated at the time because people just went to business as usual because the primary scene leaker, as it were, was saying 2022 for Switch Pro before that. And they were like, at the time, they were like, okay, I guess Bloomberg is probably right. They know better than I do because I'm just some guy. And then Bloomberg was wrong. And he was like, well, I heard 2022 this whole time.
Yeah, but Nintendo does this.
A lot of people
they
think
release
that's
hardware.
complete horseshit.
They release the
and
DSi. They
I
release
guess
the
I can
micro.
understand
Like they just.
that.
And I mean, isn't there an argument for like?
But regardless,
the
because of that,
OLED
people
kind of
went back
targeting
to
a handheld market
business as usual.
versus
Okay, Switch
yeah.
Pro is
Pro
coming
potentially
eventually.
targeting more of a home console market.
But it's really
I
not
think the
that
OLED is
simple,
what we get instead of a Switch Lite.
because
Pro.
they launched
Like,
new
you get a
fucking
nicer Switch
hardware
Lite that also happens
last
to dock.
year, and people are buying it. People bought it, and they keep buying it.
Because if you're
That's
a home
true.
console user,
They release
and if you're
hardware.
like a docked
yeah.
only user, why would you get
Yeah.
an OLED?
I,
Shh. Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, I was talking to Mina about this back when it was more relevant, because at this point people are so fatigued of it that they've just rejected any notion of hardware until further notice. But back when it was a little more relevant, I was talking to Mina about how interesting it would be to hear how this happened. And something that came up that I thought was super interesting is the idea that the OLED was delayed because it was the start of the pandemic, and it was the OLED that got pushed back in a panic, and that the OLEDs was supposed to be, because if you remember, 2019 refresh was the Lite, which is a fairly different market. You know, it's completely separate because it's the budget model compared to the premium model, and there was some notion that maybe the goal was to have 2019 cheap model, 2020 expensive model, and 2022 a soft reset to their
Except my uncle.
product. And I find that interesting, even if I don't have a strong enough
I think the
understanding
chip shortage
of
just
the production
delays
pipeline
whatever plans they had
to make any
like,
assessment of
That's why I think 23 and 24.
how viable that is. And frankly, very few people do. Certainly no one on our Discord has any sensible idea of when or how these things work. But yes, your uncle would know, but you know, non-disclosure agreements.
They're gonna stockpile the chips until
That's
they
the
can
other thing.
sell enough.
Nobody has any idea what the chip shortage is going to do, because that's only going to get worse. You know, 2023. If they had orders that they were working on, you know, supply chain orders set up, they were working towards late 2022. You know, are those orders being pushed back to 2023? It's possible. 2023, 2024. They never do that. They never do that, because selling something soft is cheaper,
you still can't buy them.
more viable than storage. Storing product is always super, super expensive. And that's hardware that's sitting that you can't sell and isn't selling software off of it. I mean, we just saw with the new
Where it's
consoles,
the
PlayStation
same
5
games
and
you're
the
selling on
Xbox Series,
both.
what a modern console launch looks like under the conditions that we're in. You just put it out. You put it out, and the people that are there,
Yeah.
you know,
So
it's all
I think it
better,
still
'cause you can sell it
exists.
for whatever price you want.
I
And the people who get it care enough, so they have a higher software attach rate, and it works out fine, especially for a Pro DLSS
Tender, what were you
Switch
saying?
model.
I was just gonna
You know,
say,
that
I
is
think
such a nerd shit.
I think a lot of plans
thing.
probably here
Exactly.
could
If
have
it's a
changed,
Switch Pro,
right? Like going back to
doesn't
the
matter how
assumption,
many they make.
I think it is
'cause they can
interesting.
just
I think
sell it
maybe
for
like the
more.
OLED model was the
And
one
people
that
will
was
buy it.
actually delayed.
You
But
know,
if
you're
it
at a
wasn't,
point,
you know, and there was this DLS
having
model
demand
in production,
higher than supply
and then
by
a chip
default
shortage
for a
happens,
product like this is very, very
and,
interesting,
you know,
because they can do
maybe
whatever the
just
fuck they
plans change,
want.
and they're just like, all right, well, we'll just push it back a few years longer. We'll extend it with this model, and the Switch 2 will come in 2024. Like I could definitely see something like that happening, but I could also see something like you know, I think Raccoon, I think you raised a really good point, because the other two Nintendo handhelds that have happened most recently have been like the DS and the 3DS, where you had the DSi and you had the new 3DS, and they were both like 2 years within
Yeah.
the system being completely dead, and and maybe that's the plan they were originally working to. 2021 that comes out, 2023 Switch 2 comes out, something like that. But I don't know. I think, but I don't know. I just have obviously, like we said, I don't really follow the hardware channel per se. But I but I think just like my gut feeling when I think about these things, I think about how long the Nintendo life cycle has happened. What's the longest one? Maybe it was like Wii for, was that like 6 years, 7 years? You know, like I feel like 2024, 2025 just feels right to me, and then an Animal Crossing shortly after sounds right to me, sounds right to me as well.
That's for the better, probably. Yeah.
Right.
The problem with a reactive delay is, again, based on rumors that are met with much scrutiny. If dev kits are out and software is in development and third-party software is targeting 2022, 2023, that's bad. It is a bad thing to delay your
totally
platform
a good point, I think.
that
Yeah,
partners
like
have been
if
pouring
you already have all
money
that
into
software in development
for a year.
might as well
It is
release
not a
a
good,
unit that you can only release like
I
a
mean, they
million
can,
of, and
they have to.
you know, have
But I
somebody
think a
buy
limited
it and
launch
be able to play the games
is
in those, and
better
they're still,
than,
you know, backwards compatible
and
with the
again, that's
original units.
predicated
But
on
yeah,
rumors
I
that
don't
have
know. I
sort
think
of
that's a
been
good point too.
rejected by
To be
most
clear, I
people
haven't like
at this point,
completely
or
and
most
totally
people on the
written off
server at
every
least.
rumor as total bullshit or anything. I just kind of acknowledge the idea that like COVID kind of did screw things up and make things weird.
Yeah.
And sure, their game consoles launched during COVID,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But we're also like almost 2 years into those game consoles' life cycles, and they don't have any video games yet.
Yeah, it's almost all cross gen,
The
and
va-
you can't buy the consoles easily, and that's why.
And I do think that there is a chance that Nintendo looks at that and is just like, is this worth it right now? To even put out this kind of thing and have it
Yeah.
situate like
Yeah.
we're not having a situation where these companies are having to target a new console. They in fact they have to target the old one
Yeah.
to make sure it still runs
Yeah.
fine on the old one, and that's kind of a thing that even Sony and Microsoft are having to deal with. And Microsoft seems like they were kind of already equipped to deal with that in the first place, considering they had the One X and the original Xbone, which there was a bigger gap of power between those two things than the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. Like the Xbox One X, sorry, that's a terrible name. And I don't say it out loud very often, but when I do, it's like, wow, they really did something here. Those practically almost, I mean, it's not a full generation of power between the One and the One X, but the One X was running games at 4K, right?
Yeah.
The PS4 Pro was never running games at like true 4K. It was like whatever that like checkerboarding thing was. Like it was an approximation. And for Sony, it's like Horizon Forbidden West had to target the PS4. Period. It had to run on the PS4 in an acceptable manner, and the PS5 boosted it.
Yeah, and God of War's gonna be doing the same, and same with GT7.
God of War's doing the same. GT7 is apparently doing the same. I wouldn't be surprised if we got all the way to Spider-Man 2 next year, and they're still targeting the PS4.
Yeah, Ratchet and Returnal were the biggest that didn't.
And I think that's and those are games that like don't need to sell trillions of copies to like make them worth it, you know? Like games like Forbidden West and God of War are. So it's like, I don't know if Nintendo's looking at things and being like, well, we literally put out Age of Calamity last year and it's the best selling Muso of all time, despite the fact it drops to single digits.
I think that's actually really smart. Like, it makes a lot of sense. And to what Raccoon said of like the pro systems that Nintendo has done, the DSi and the new 3DS, like they were saying, they don't last that long. So maybe Nintendo does just skip those this time. And honestly, I would respect that decision because I never like the power difference stuff of like, oh, like this game is really good if you have the Switch Pro, but not if you have the regular Switch.
The I think the problem with that is the
But maybe
the
whatever was supposed to be
NVIDIA
the Pro just becomes
hardware
a Switch 2.
isn't there. I don't think we were ever in a situation in which we would have a Pro or like a new 3DS followed shortly after by its successor, just because what's being suggested is so bleeding edge. And if that might make it less likely, I don't really know. See, that's the thing, is that isn't... If we see... I call it the Kano timeline. If we end up with a Switch 2 in 2024 or 2025, it will be this. It will be the Switch Pro that's just been pushed back in production. And there's some notion of like the delineation between successor and Pro model not mattering. I'm sure you guys have brushed up against that occasionally. And it's very difficult to follow, but
So
I
it wouldn't
think
make
it's
sense as a
correct
Pro.
that this
In
is
my opinion.
really more like a successor than a Pro model, because the power gap is going to be, again, assuming NVIDIA leaks are legitimate. I mean, they are legitimate, assuming they come
like,
to
do you
market
keep
as a
supporting the
Switch,
Switch for a while?
product.
Yeah.
It's such a huge gap. It's like
Maybe
more than
maybe
any
they continue the
Nintendo
Switch
generation's
for a
ever
long
been.
time, no matter what. Like, yeah.
Well,
That's the thing. People are expecting it to be both, and that's sort of tying into what James was saying about the scalability of games being more prominent than ever before. The PS5 is a PS4 Pro.
well,
It's a
my
PS4 Pro
dream
Pro.
for the Switch ever since
The
they
power
released
gap
the
is
first day,
massive, but
day one was
exactly.
like, oh man,
And
they
people
could
have
do
thought
this
that for a
like
long time because
tablet.
it's mobile hardware.
right?
That
like
was
like
the
the
plan all
tablet
along,
market refreshes
to make
every
something that
2
is
to
a
3
massive
years.
power
Every
jump.
1
the-
year.
But
well,
because
that
games are so
depends.
scalable,
iPads don't
especially
come out
on
every
mobile,
year, do they?
They do, yeah.
Oh, Christ.
that
No,
it's like
thought they-
Pro, but it's very, very far ahead.
I thought they came out every couple years. Might be.
I think iPad Airs come out every year. Maybe they don't default maybe they don't refresh like the basic one every year. I think they do though. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh my god.
I was hoping that we
Sorry.
would see like
What?
just iterative, and
the
obviously
A
it
series?
did not have to be as fast as phones or tablets, but it would make sense for like every 5 years or so for a new Switch to come out that is like, hey, this runs everything that the Switch 1 did. It runs it better.
In any
and
case,
moving forward,
the
we'll
core
still support
point
the
is
games for the Switch
legitimate, 'cause
1, but they're
phones
going
come
to
out
run
every
better
year.
and look
Mobile
better
hardware
here.
is fast.
You don't need a new dock. You don't need new Joy-Cons. Maybe we make new and better Joy-Cons, but we're gonna support the old ones. The old ones will work still. Don't worry. The new ones have better build quality or whatever. Maybe they have better buttons. Maybe they have like a better D-pad or something. But every 5 years you just need a new tablet, and that's
It's
it.
kind of a depressing thought though, because like Nintendo is like we know them as like, oh, they every new console is so different.
Yeah, but
Everything.
we've been
and
over
this
this
is, like-
before. This is
this is, like, the
already
end.
this is
Yeah.
like the platonic ideal of a Nintendo console,
Yeah.
though. It has motion control. It has IR motion control and
They should switch the IR to the
gyro.
top on the next
And-
one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same, but each one has like its own like innovation and gimmick still. Like the gamepad and 3D. Yeah. I loved the dual screen. I missed the dual screen
Also,
format. It was
Muffin,
so
we've been
nice.
away from that for a while. The Wii and Wii U are practically the same in
It'll
terms
last a
of
while.
controller
I love
and
the
feel
Switch,
and
yeah.
interface. And the DS and
Yeah.
3DS have a ton in common.
and it
So
hasn't.
we've had, that's true, but we've had these 10 plus year, hardware dynasties already. The Switch, I expect the Switch to be the next
Right.
dual screen or the next Wii remote. We're in another era like those. And it's also worth noting with the mobile hardware being so iterative, a lot of people don't
Yeah.
realize
And what's
that
funny to me now, though,
2019
is like it's
Redbox
gone the other
model,
direction.
that's a new chip.
Like
It's just
we're done with the
underclocked
era of
to the same
bespoke
performance for
console
battery
hardware.
life. That
That's,
could have
like,
been the Switch
impossible
Pro.
to
That would have been a
understand,
damn good
impossible to
Switch
port
Pro too.
forward. The
But
new
they chose
consoles are
battery
just
life,
PCs.
and we don't know
The
why.
PS4 and the Xbone were
I think it's because
bad
software
PCs,
wasn't ready.
but they were
Nintendo
just
wasn't
PCs.
at a point where they
The
wanted more
PS5 and
power
the
yet.
X
I
and
think
the
now they
Series
totally
X
are.
pretty good PCs for the especially for the price.
Yep.
And they're
Yeah.
yeah.
This
And-
is random, but like with like the price of like PCs and stuff, like unless you're like really hardcore into the PC
Exactly.
market, like it's hard to recommend that right now.
it's extremely hard. I paid way too much money for this computer,
Yeah.
That's just a,
That
that's
I'm
just a small
using right
side
now.
thing. Yeah.
which
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
Switch is an ARM64 tablet. It's a fairly capable
will set
ARM64
crypto
tablet.
people on fire.
Yeah. Anyway, we should probably start wrapping this to a close.
One
Yeah.
one last thought though,
Yeah,
and I think it's a really pertinent
PC's
thought
dead.
that comes
Yeah.
into play when you think about Switch Pro and Switch 2, and it's it's something I only thought about this week, which is once one of those
It is
consoles
cheaper
comes out
to buy
and you
a
can see
couple
the
pre-builts
increased performance
and
on
mix
that.
and
Like,
match
what
parts.
is Earthworm Jim 2
It
really going
is
to
so
look like?
crazy.
yes. Oh my god, I forgot. Oh my god. Earthworm Jim 2. Why Earthworm Jim 2 and not the first one?
We have to wait for the first one.
I think both Earthworm Gems are terrible. So
They have good visuals. I don't think they're that fun. The first level's good in Earthworm Jim 1. I will say that.
yeah,
It's a
the
good
guy,
first level.
the creator who made Earthworm Jim is a garbage person.
He's a
piece of
shithole.
shit.
Yeah.
But I've always thought those games were very
Mappy
good
Land.
because they have that terrible
Mip
parallax
Mappy
effect in the
Land.
background that make it like hard to look at when you're moving around.
Yeah, that can be
The
dizzying.
momentum on how that man controls that worm controls.
They have that
Yeah,
guy,
Earthworm
right?
James.
Yeah,
Is that why you don't
Earthworm
like
James.
it?
No, but that's very funny, and I'm gonna change my name right now in the Discord.
To Earthworm James.
But
two, not
oh,
one. Though.
of the
Earthworm James
NSO,
2.
yeah, that's what it was gonna be. Of the NSO games, the one that I'm most interested in is actually Mappy Land because I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it looks like
That
looks like
Jim
Mappy.
James,
Which is not a bad thing. I like
Earthworm
Mappy.
James.
Oh my god, youngsters these days don't know about Mappy. Yeah, he's a little mouse. He chases something. It's very good.
Yeah, I didn't know there was an NES Mappy game.
There's cats chasing you, and you're trying to trick them something. It's one of those games. It's fantastic.
But it is absolute horse shit that Japan got fucking Harvest Moon for the Super
Yeah.
Nintendo.
We got Earthworm
we got-
James.
Wait,
and we
did
and we
they
got-
really?
Is it an
Yeah,
arcade
they
game?
did. They instead They didn't get Earthworm
Aw.
Jim 2. They got the Super Nintendo Harvest Moon game.
I thought mice were chased.
Why couldn't we get like Harvest Moon is not like a Japanese only game. That game was released in America.
Okay.
The theory
mice
seems
don't
to
chase
be that
things.
it has something to do with the current copyright issues with the name.
Oh,
What?
Story of Seasons.
What the fuck? Did they really?
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Ugh.
So they were like, what do we get instead? Here's Earthworm Jim 2. But there's a better sequel in here than Earthworm Jim 2. Dig Dug 2 is
got
a
localized,
fantastic,
yeah.
underrated classic. I like that game quite a bit.
I just don't like this trend of them releasing
Oh,
sequels
of
to games on
course.
MSO
Yeah.
They
before
can't.
release,
yeah,
the
they
first
can't
ones
put
because I
out
just
a
don't-
Harvest
I
Moon
don't
in
know where the
America.
story's going.
Yeah, Dig Dug 2
Ugh.
is weird because you can buy
God, that
Dig
sucks.
Dug 2, the NES
Earthworm
one, as
Jim
part of one of
2.
those Namco
Oh my
archives.
goodness.
We're dead wrong. Yep.
Well,
That's
you
why
were
we brought
already
you back.
you were already wrong because they released Earthbound and Mother 1 last month.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey, at least they didn't put out
the
Earthworm Jim
last
3D on the
Nintendo
N64
Pipeline
before
episode.
Oh my
releasing
god, they
Earthworm
probably
Jim 2.
will.
Mina and I agreed vehemently
How long before,
that
like,
NES and SNES
I wish
were dead.
N64
and we were
and like
wrong.
Genesis games.
And
like,
I'm
were
back
so
here to
slow
be wrong.
release. Like, it
Yeah.
is painfully slow.
You're right.
I
You're
know,
right.
that's
but
what I've
I
been
haven't
asking
back
since
since
day
then. I haven't
one.
been back since being wrong.
Yeah. They are first party games.
Oh my god.
There should be zero reason.
Oh,
And
one,
we
one
don't
thing,
we don't have golf either.
one thing worth quickly noting, maybe I don't know how much anyone
painful.
cares
It is
about this,
painful.
but they also
Where
added a
is
couple more
NES
like
Black
those like
Box
SP
Pinball?
versions of games to NSO.
I can't play
Mario
all the
World
NES games that I had
lets
on
you play
Animal
through the
Crossing
game
on the
as though you've already
GameCube.
finished Star
Why the
Road,
fuck
Oh,
not?
that's nice.
which is kind of
Yeah.
a cool thing for all the people out there who
Ridiculous.
have never, done that. And they
Yeah.
released, God, it was for Super
That hurts.
Punch Out, but I forgot what it was.
Is it like a final boss one or something else?
Let me see real quick. In this special version of Super Punch Out, you can take on every circuit and every opponent. On the top of the minor circuit, major circuit, and world circuit options, you can select special circuit, which is normally only available to those who have claimed victory in all other circuits.
Oh,
So it's basically just being able to play through every opponent in the game back to back to back to back. But you used
Super
to not be
Punch
able
Out
to
is
do
a
it that
weird
without
game.
clearing the whole game first.
Yeah. Those are cool. Like, cause sometimes like I don't feel like playing through the whole game, and I just like want to see like the Mario Kart one is super nice. It lets you play all the tracks without unlocking them.
Yeah. Though they have their place.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that they end up being their own box on the screen or whatever.
Yeah, I wish there was like sub menus or something.
Yeah,
They
or just like a permanent addition to the save state screen. Like you have your 4 slots, but then like on the you hit like L and then another page opens.
Yeah, or like a second page like on the main thing, like have like the regular page and the SP page.
Wow. Yeah.
I have all the
It's
SP
weird.
games, and the games I don't like are in the bottom. I love sorting the old games. I almost enjoy it more than like playing some of them.
All of
Yeah.
all of my NSO games are in the order.
Yeah, that'd be
that
nice.
they were
Do you guys
released
put your
in.
SPs next to
Oh
the
wow.
I've
given
never
game, or do you
organized
have
them.
them put in the basement?
I've never
somewhere?
organized them and I never will.
Oh, it's freeing.
Isn't it funny that you can sort old games but not new ones?
So he just doesn't touch them.
You mean it's heresy? Hearsay
I put all
is
the
something
stupid
different.
third-party trash I don't care about on the bottom, and then Black Box goes on top.
No, it's fine.
Ah, that's a very puritanical approach.
Here's some more of that fun banter that we talked about at the beginning.
Oh, you mean the order on NSO they were released? Oh, that's
Sorry,
hearsay.
I busted it.
Absolutely not.
Were you talking about the date?
Yeah, I hate that. I wasn't gonna correct myself because it slows down the podcast, James. But yeah,
Certified
Damn it.
lover boy, dude. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Sorry,
Saying
it was
something.
my fault.
No, I guess not. Yeah, the Drake. It's the Drake now. That's what proves that this is like a simulation. Is the fact that the hardware is called Drake now? Like, are you fucking kidding me? They must. Ugh. The funny thing about hardware talk, and I know we're trying to wrap up, but
Is that because of the leak specifically?
no, the last funny thing is that, like, in that channel, they don't believe it either anymore, which is awesome. Because you go in there and they're like, these NVIDIA numbers, too good to be true, even though they're true. They're at a loss now, because they've got these insane worst tier numbers, and they don't know what to make of it, because it's too good to be true. It's beyond... The leaked specs are beyond anyone's expectation. It almost makes me think that that could be from a software side for hardware that doesn't.
Raccoon walks
really
in, they're like,
exist
"What's
yet."
poppin', losers?"
And it's like for an
And they're like, "Shut up!"
But that's just not the case, you know. Arguments like that have been going on since the leak happened. Of like, okay, what if it's like this? What if it's like this? Sort of.
It's just this cabal of nerds
just
wearing
trying
like a
to
black
eliminate as
cloak
much as
sitting
we
around a
can.
fire. And you're just
I
like,
say
"Oh,
we,
what are you
but
guys
I
trying
only
to
pop in
summon?"
and
And
say,
they're
"What's
like,
happening?"
"Shut
Everyone
up,
says, "Shut up."
Drake."
I'm like, oh, okay. But
I love
Sounds
you,
to-
Yeah.
hardware channel.
Sounds to me like Switch 3 is
no,
coming
I
a
walk
little
in
sooner
like,
than we thought.
what's new? What are you guys talking about? Because I'll come in and they're saying
All right,
things that
wait.
sound very
Oh.
foreboding.
Make it quick.
Like, oh, does
Make
it
quick.
suck now? And they're like, no, we were just talking. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Oh my god.
It's weird that we're getting.
Oh my god.
It's weird that we're getting a Splatoon. On the
I
same
know.
console.
It is
But
it is
anyways.
very quick, and it's very related to 2022. I can't believe we didn't talk about it at all. And I don't have much to say
We'll talk
it,
about
'cause
Splatoon 3
Nintendo
more
doesn't
when
have
there's
much
more to
say
talk about with it.
Splatoon
But on that
3.
note, I'm wrapping
We
up this
can't
podcast.
get a
I'm
successor
taking the
console.
reins.
Because of Splatoon 3.
and saying
it has
thank you
to
for
be
listening
part
to
of
the
the
Nintendo
Switch.
Pipeline
Or it
Podcast.
has to be
I think we can all
3
agree it's a
years
pretty
out
exciting year for
because of
for
Splatoon
Nintendo.
3.
You can find us
Exactly. We can't get a
the
successor
Nintendo
yet.
Pipeline Podcast on YouTube
a great
or
note to
any
leave off
podcast
on, is that
platform you can think
nothing
of.
adds
I'm not
up.
going to name them here. We have a Discord. The
Oh, it's so
link
painful.
is nintendopipeline.discord.gg. You can also find the link on our WordPress that has not been updated in maybe a few centuries. It's nintendopipeline.wordpress.com. If anyone wants to share any socials, now is the time to do it. Yeah, we love our socials here. Yeah, tell us about your socials. Or don't. All right.
I stream video games on the James Zone on Twitch.
It's a good channel. I like it.
I
Some
also
stuff in
stream.
sometimes.
I also stream video games on Twitch at Tender Brew, but maybe like once every 6 months. So I have a
Also
pretty
a great
erratic
channel.
schedule.
I watched Tender play Wave Race
Socials?
64. Wonderful.
Are you
stream.
guys building brands here?
Thank you.
Oh, I'm
anyways,
sorry.
Thank you so much.
I don't really have
a
anything
good
to
night.
plug.
Peace.